Hi everyone, this is Random Chat and making yet another video. And today's subject is regards to something that Donald Trump has pointed out when he was visiting Scotland. If anyone saw the video, Donald Trump made a statement that Europe needs to get control of its immigration problem and get control of the invasion. And yes, I would classify what is happening here in Britain on its own is an invasion. What Donald Trump was talking about is the fact that we have so many illegal migrants crossing the channel on a day-to-day basis coming here to our country, Britain, along with the ones that are classified as asylum seekers. Now this country is severely getting overpopulated. Britain is only a small island and we are now struggling financially. We have already been classified as the next third world country because of the amount of poverty we have here in Britain. So I fully agree with Donald Trump when he said we need to get control of the immigration problem we have in Europe. We definitely need to get control of the immigration problem we have here in Britain. These people crossing the channel on a day-to-day basis are a financial burden to the whole of Britain. This country has around 1.5 million or more people unemployed. So the last thing this country needs is more illegal immigrants flooding here, because at the end of the day, these people are not bringing anything here. They're not coming here to pay taxes. They're not coming here to be diverse. They're just coming here with their hands out to get all the freebies that are offered to them. The cost of living in this country is rising rapidly. People are living on the poverty line. People are relying on food banks so they can put food on the table. Elderly people have had a winter warm payment cancelled by the Labour government. This payment was to help pay for their electric bill, gas bill, so they could stay warm in wintertime. So now elderly people have to make a choice. Put food on the table and no longer feel hungry, but end up freezing to death. Or pay your bills, keep your place warm, but end up dying of hunger. There are people here unemployed, to no fault of their own, having to live on universal credit, which is roughly £400 per month. And I am talking about British people only. The average person in this country does live in poverty. They're not working so they can have all luxuries in their life. They're working to survive. If you check online, it does state that the average wage in this country is £37,000 per year. That roughly works out over £700 per week. But that's not realistic, because the average wage is between 25 and 28,000. And that is classified as a livable wage. This means you can just survive on what you get paid. And just remember, you have to pay national insurance, your tax out of this, and your pension. So out of that £28,000, you do not get that after the taxman has taken a big chunk out of it. So what you're looking at roughly is an average wage per month, £2,300 per month. And I know some of you might say that is quite a good wage really. But then when you calculate how much, if you are in the private rental market, that you will have to pay around roughly 1,300 of that money you earn on rent, it leaves you very little each month out of your wages. And on top of this, you have to remove council tax per month from that as well. So you can roughly say that would be around £140 per month also coming out of your wage. Then there's your water rates. Mine per month is £75. Plus you have to add your gas and electric. So basically, out of your wage each month, you are left with very little, and you're still expected to be able to put food on the table. So out of your wage per month, you get very little left. So you're not living in a life of luxury when you are working, you are living to exist. And that is in Britain 2025. So when you hear about all these illegal immigrants, asylum seekers coming here on a day-to-day basis, roughly costing this country around £8 million per day to keep, just in hotels, it's a bit of an insult to the British people, because we are paying that. These people are coming to our country, they are instantly getting a roof put over their heads, they are getting fed, they're getting clothed, and they're getting all the NHS treatment that they require. Some of this treatment, you and I probably would have to go on a waiting list, but these people are being prioritised over us, the British people. So Donald Trump was fully correct in what he said. We need to get control of the borders. We should not be allowing any more coming into this country. If anything, we should be deporting what we already have here. But we don't because of the Human Rights Act. Whilst the taxpayers are paying a fortune per day to keep these illegal immigrants, asylum seekers here in Britain, we have British people living on the poverty line. We have British people homeless to no fault of their own, sleeping in doorways. We have ex-servicemen who once would have been willing to give up their life for this country if needed, also sleeping in doorways, homeless. So you can understand why the British people are slightly getting angry with the whole situation these days. The fact that illegal immigrants, asylum seekers, are prioritised over British people, and that our money is being used to keep these people in this country. There is also the fact that we have a housing problem in this country. This country is becoming overpopulated, and there is not enough houses to go around. If you are British, to buy a house in this country, you need a huge deposit. Not many people have that deposit they can put down, let alone to be able to afford their mortgage each month. But when it comes to the rental market, especially the private sector, the rental price each month is going up to unaffordable prices for us, the British people. And one of the reasons for this is because of the government offers people who have a portfolio in properties, or if you own a hotel, the incentive to rent your places out to illegal immigrants, asylum seekers. Little incentive in which they will pay the council tax for each property. They will pay for the repairs and insurance for it. And all you do is sit back and rake in all the profits because they are quite happily and pay you more than what you would get if you privately rented it out to somebody British. So it means that the British people struggle to get out and find private renting. The other alternative is that you go for a local council and try to get on the council list. The problem with this is you now go for a bidding system in which the chances of you getting a property, especially if you're a single person or just a couple starting out in your relationship, is very slim. But I bet you all these asylum seekers and the illegal immigrants do not have to fit any criterion to be able to bid for a property. They probably get prioritised on this also. The amount of people coming to this country now illegally is out of control, and we're not doing a great deal to stop it, nor the French. The French, who we pay vast sums of money each year to prevent them coming here, are doing nothing to stop them. If anything, the French are encouraging them, offering them life jackets when they get onto their little dinghies, their rubber boats, then assisting them as a backup by using one of the French naval ships to make sure they can travel from the French waters into English waters safely. And to add insult to injury, the British Navy, our coast guards, are waiting the opposite side to pick these people up, and not to send them back to France, but to bring them here, to Britain. Our taxes are being abused by the government to keep these illegal immigrants here in Britain. The cost of living here in Britain is out of control, and this is one of the reasons most people are living on the poverty line. And the reason for these taxes to be raised is simply because the government needs to find funds to be able to keep these illegal immigrants, these asylum seekers, here in Britain. So we, the British people, are punished in one aspect because we are made to struggle in our own country, just so we can support these illegal immigrants, these asylum seekers, who come here on a day-to-day basis. So yes, we need to stop the boats coming here now, and we need to start deporting quite a few of these people, because if we don't, this country will soon be bankrupt. It will break. But it's not only the financial side that is damaging to this country. Since all these illegal immigrants have been flooding to this country, our crime rate has spiraled out of control. On a regular basis, you find clips of information that has been leaked out about asylum seekers, illegal immigrants, sexually assaulting, raping young schoolgirls, attempting to entice them back to their flats, their houses, their hotel rooms. British women no longer feel safe to be able to walk from A to B, even during the daylight, a fear of sexual harassment, assaults, rape by these asylum seekers, these illegal immigrants. These people have no respect for women, and they prey upon our children. You only have to look at Epping, how one black asylum seeker here only for 2 days, charged with 3 sexual assaults. Then you had the guy who hounded a 15-year-old girl on the streets for her telephone number, and when she refused to give it to him, he dragged her down an alleyway and raped her. And as I said in a previous video, he pleaded not guilty to this crime simply because he believed he did nothing wrong. Raping a 15-year-old schoolgirl was perfectly acceptable in his eyes. There are probably more of these cases happening that we don't know about, because the police and the government do not want this information leaked out. They do not want us to know the full truth of what's happening here in this country. These people come to our country. They have no respect for our laws and our way of life. And then we have politicians, Labour politicians, who tell us that we need to be diverse. We need to make the changes to suit their requirements. No, we don't. It is those coming here that need to be diverse. This is our country. Well, if they cannot adapt to our ways, then they should not be here. But these people are coming here and they want to change this country into their country. We've seen this with Islam. Certain organized groups within the Muslim community have pointed out that this country will become an Islamic country. And the way things are going here now, that will happen, because nobody is stopping this from happening. The police turn a blind eye to what's going on within the Islamic community. And what I mean by this is they are fully aware of the Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs that are targeting young British girls who are vulnerable, prostituting them out to other Muslim men, abusing these children on a day-to-day basis. And these gangs are working right across Britain. The police are fully aware of this, but are they doing anything? My personal beliefs are no, they're not, because these gangs are still active within this country. There is also the hatred that gets preached on our streets on a day-to-day basis by these illegal immigrants, these asylum seekers, and also by the ones who are legally here. We have all seen the Palestinian demonstrations on our streets, waving flags, disrupting our towns and our cities, out marching, preaching hatred towards the Jews. And what do the police do on these occasions? Well, they basically support them, walk side by side with them, doing nothing. They are not breaking up these demonstrations. They are not pointing out that it is a criminal offence to preach hatred in this country. If you and I, British people, preached hatred towards Islam, we would be arrested and charged for this. If you start preaching anything that's negative towards Islam, you can be arrested under the blasphemy law. But this blasphemy law only works for Islam. You can say what you like about Judaism or Christianity. So this hate that's being preached towards the Jewish people here in Britain by the Muslim community is perfectly acceptable. But it wasn't too long ago when people were being kicked out of Parliament for anti-Semitism against Jewish people. And this is one of the problems that the British people are having here in Britain. The two-tier system within the legal aspect of things. How there seems to be one law for them and one law for us. And when we hear about criminal offences being carried out by asylum seekers, illegal immigrants, it gets put down to mental health issues, culture issues, a misunderstanding. And what this means is that the government and the legal system, the police, clearly want to just brush it under the carpet and hope we're going to forget about it. There are now huge demonstrations by British people who are sick and tired of how this country has become. Marching, flying the Union flag, the government and the police will classify these people as far-right racists. Just making this video, speaking out about the issues and the problems of having so many illegal immigrants in this country, so many asylum seekers within this country, all paid for by the taxpayers, can, under the new government law, put me in the category of being a white supremacist, far-right, racist, and even borderline terrorist. So it's a huge insult to the British people when these people coming to this country, especially when they're here illegally, are protected, and we are the ones who are the criminals for speaking out about it. And you've only got to look at how bad things are becoming within this country. Unemployment is a roughly 1.5 million people, but the amount of illegal immigrants coming to this country is 1.2 million people each year. That is not accounting the asylum seekers, which is roughly estimated around 109,000 per year entering this country. And soon the numbers of illegal immigrants, asylum seekers, within this country are going to be higher than the rate of unemployment in this country. So where is all this money going to come from? Simply out of the British public pocket. So I do fully agree with what Donald Trump said. We need to get control of the immigration issue. But this is not a new thing, really, is it? You've only got to look at what Labour has done in the past. When Tony Blair became in power and became Prime Minister of this country, he opened the borders to the whole of Europe, in which we had a massive influx of Polish people coming to this country. But now the new trend with the new Labour government, under Keir Starmer's ruling, it's no longer Polish people he wants flooding in this country. It's Africans. There seems to be more and more Africans in this country now than there was in the past. And I did personally notice this way before Labour took power. I used to work in the care industry as a support worker, and the vast majority now of employees within the care industry are Nigerian. If they're not Nigerian, they are agency Indian workers. Now the issue with this is when you work within the care industry, especially as a support worker, the vast part of your job is communication. And I found when I was a support worker, there was no communication there, nor was there any support. This is one of the reasons I stopped doing the job, simply because I felt that my job put me at risk, because I used to work with people with learning disabilities and behaviour issues. These people were adult who could become violent. And when these occasions happened, you would require support by one of your colleagues. And on many occasions, I found that I had no support within that industry. The Nigerian people, as soon as there was an incident, they would clearly disappear. And the Indian people basically didn't speak English. I know this might sound strange, having people within that industry who didn't speak English. Many times I would ask somebody who was Indian a question, and all I would get is yes, and simply they didn't understand what I said. And one of the reasons why we have so many Nigerians within the care industry is because they come here on a sponsorship. It is an easy way to get into this country. None of these people have experience within this job sector, but they claim they do, and people taking them on take their word for it. I could go into more details, but I'm not going to do that in this video, just to back up what I'm saying, that these people come here just to get in the country. So how much longer can this country survive on how it's going? Because financially, we cannot afford to keep all these illegal immigrants and asylum seekers here. Our NHS system will break soon. It's struggling as it is. So as you're getting more and more of these people coming here, getting all the free NHS treatment, the NHS system will break. And as more of these people invade this country, taxes will go up, and the British people will live in more poverty than what we already are living in. So Donald Trump is fully correct. We need to put a stop to it. We need to stop these invaders coming to our country. We need to start saying, no more handouts. If you come to this country, you come here, you get no support. If that rule was put in place, it is safe to say the boats will stop coming here, because they're only coming here because they know they get the freebies from the British people. But it's not just the financial damage these people are causing here in Britain. There is also the risk factor. The British people no longer feel safe in their own country. You take your life in your own hands if you walk down the streets in certain areas within this country if you are a British person. If you're a schoolgirl within this country in certain areas, you are at risk walking to and from school of sexual assault, attack, rape. So our children and our wives are no longer safe here in Britain, because this is a dangerous place for anyone who's female. We have gangland mentality carried out by foreigners coming to this country within our cities, making those cities a dangerous place for us, the British people. And no doubt most of you have seen all the videos on YouTube of these illegal immigrants, these asylum seekers, who walk into a shop and blatantly steal off the shelves simply because they have no respect for our laws. And these issues are only going to get greater here in Britain the more we allow here. So if we do not stop the boats and say no more and start deporting people, then this country is going to break, because these asylum seekers, these illegal immigrants, are financially killing this country. Then you also have to look at the aspect regards to the side of the British people. People are now going out in vast demonstrations protesting about what's happening here in this country. How long will it be before these people are pushed to such a point that they snap and decide we will take control of the country? Keir Starmer has already warned the British people of a war upon our shores. He is not talking about a war against us and some other country. He is talking about a civil war. Because at some point, the British people will decide to take the law into their own hands, simply because they know we are no longer protected by the government, protected by our police. We've seen this in Epping, when the police literally took anti-demonstrators right up to the front line of the protesters against this attack on a 15-year-old. They deliberately provoked these protesters, sticking these socialist lefty softies right in front of the protesters. Angry parents who just want to feel that their children are safe in their own country. So Keir Starmer needs to open his eyes and realise that this country is at breaking point. There is a fuse waiting to be lit, and when that fuse is lit, all hell is going to break out. Clearly, Keir Starmer, in my eyes, wants this explosion of hatred to what's going on in our country to go off, so he can point the finger and say, I was right, you are all far right and racist. And we are far from being far right and racist. We are just worried people, concerned people. We want to know we have a future in our own country. We want to know we can be safe in our own country. There is also the fact of the unemployment side. Like I said, we need to offer British people jobs here in our own country. Donald Trump believes it should be American jobs for American people, and I think we should adopt that policy. British jobs for British people. But it doesn't work that way in this country anymore. Vast majority of places you will go to now, you will struggle to get understood if you're a British person, because there is a language barrier. Myself, I find it infuriating when you have to keep repeating yourself and trying to explain things to somebody simply because they don't understand what you're saying. I had this experience recently. At present, I'm out of work. 2 weeks ago, my contract was ended, and so I'm in the process of looking for work and going through interviews. I went into the job centre to speak to somebody in there about advice. I was giving a person, an advisor, who is Nigerian. I could barely understand a word he was saying. I have to see another person next week, also Nigerian, going by the name. I cannot work out whether the person is male or female. So we're not talking a communication issue on a minor level. We're talking a communication issue within an industry where it is vital that the information is given to you is correct and understood. The best example I can give you in which communication barrier does play a big part, and that when there is no communication, errors happen. Last year, I had a bad bout of COVID, and my doctor wanted me to have an ECG. So I had to phone a referral telephone number, and I ended up speaking to somebody who I believe was possibly Indian. When I had to state which hospital I wished to attend, it clearly wasn't understood. When I had the letter for this ECG, I was given a complete and utter different hospital. On contacting this hospital and speaking to them about it, they said it was a common occurrence of people being given the wrong hospital. And the reason why? Simply because of communication issue. She probably didn't understand the word I was saying. I could only barely understand her. Mistakes like that should not be made, but they are being made simply because we are employing people who are no longer speaking the English language. This country seems to be favouring foreigners over British people. So yes, I fully agree it should be British jobs for British people. And I fully agree that we need to turn the boats around and say, you're not welcome, you're not wanted here. And we do need to take control of what's going on within this country. And the whole legal system needs to put a full clampdown on what's going on in regards to these illegal immigrants and asylum seekers, and make the British people feel safe again. We shouldn't have to worry about our children going to and from school. We shouldn't have to hear about asylum seekers, illegal immigrants, hanging around, preying on children. We shouldn't have to have Pakistani Muslim gangs, grooming gangs, targeting innocent, vulnerable children, British children. Nor should we have to be diverse to their ways, their cultures, their religious beliefs. But unfortunately, that is how Britain is these days. And it does feel that we are being made feel that we need to turn a blind eye to what's going on. Even the legal aspect basically is telling us to shut up, because if we don't shut up and stop speaking out about what's going on, we get the racist finger pointed at us, the far right finger pointed at us, and we can even face being arrested for speaking out. And I know this might sound extreme, But we already have a blackout within the press, within the media, in which the government only allows us to know certain things. When it comes to criminal offences carried out by these illegal immigrants, these asylum seekers, quite a bit of it is blacked out so we don't find out what's going on. Look how much they tried hushing up that second generation migrant who killed those children. That animal who murdered 3 young girls, stabbed several others. Look how they tried brushing that under the carpet. You have also only got to look at the incident that happened in Manchester. The 2 Pakistani brothers who violently attacked the police. But prior to that, one of them violently attacked a member of the public in a cafe. And how the legal system basically classified that attack as alleged, meaning it probably didn't happen, hoping that we are going to forget all about it. And look how long it's taking the whole court case regards to these 2 brothers. But what is ironic regards to these 2 brothers attacking the police so violently and still not in prison yet is the joke how one British person who punched a police officer in the face within one of the protests quite a few months ago, he was arrested, charged, went to court and was put in prison within the space of 2 weeks. The 2 Pakistani brothers violently assault police officers, all caught on camera, and still, at present, not put away in prison for that violent criminal offence, because simply it allegedly happened. And this is what things are like in this country. When it comes to foreign people, immigrants, illegal or legal, things are classified as alleged. But when it comes to British people, a criminal offence is definitely a criminal offence and you will get punished for it. There is no alleged about it when it comes to British people. So I think the British people have now had enough, and I think the vast majority of us, the British public, will fully agree with what Donald Trump said. Get control of the immigration problem. Get control of the invasion. These are not rantings and ravings of a far-right racist American. This is somebody who is very concerned about the damage these people are doing to his own country, and he can see it happening here. But unlike our Prime Minister, Donald Trump started to take control of the situation within his own country, and you would think that our Prime Minister would do the same. Poland has already started to clamp down on what's going on within their country. They are putting their foot down. Illegal immigrants, asylum seekers are not welcome within Poland. Ireland have had enough of the damage these people are doing when they go to their country. It's about time that we did the same. We need to save our country before it is beyond savable. Because if we don't put our foot down, this country will be destroyed. We are struggling to keep our identity as British people. We are no longer allowed to stand up and feel proud of our flag and proud to be British because it's far right and racist. You only have to look at the issue not too long ago with a 12-year-old girl being sent home from school on a culture day for wearing a Union flag dress simply because it wasn't about her culture. Rejected by her school, punished for being British and sharing her culture with her friends. So even our children are being targeted for being British. The people running this country want to suppress our views. They want to suppress what we say. They want to suppress our feelings, our concerns, because as far as they are concerned, we are far-right racist. So was Winston Churchill a far-right racist when he wanted to protect the British people against a Nazi invasion, a takeover by the Nazis in the Second World War, a destruction of British culture, British life? No, Winston Churchill was a hero. He was a backbone of this country. He gave this country strength to stand up against a Nazi regime. Where is our backbone now? Our backbone is broken. We are now allowing invaders come here and take this country away from us. Our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers, who died just in the Second War alone, would turn in their graves if they saw this country now. People who went to war to prevent the invasion of the Nazis here in Britain. And now we have the invasion of the asylum seekers, the illegal immigrants, coming here, destroying our way of life. The people who run this country, who have allowed this to happen, should bow their heads down in shame, because they are the ones that are the destroyers of our way of life. They have allowed this to happen to Britain. So it's time that the British public, the British people, start standing up and being seen and get heard. No more of this racist, far-right crap. None of this pointing the finger and telling us to shut up, be quiet. Speak out, stand up for your country, your rights. Be heard, be proud of being British, and wave your flag, the Union flag, the George Cross, with pride. My Union flag is on the side of my building, right there. We have the rights here in our country to be proud to be English, Welsh or Scottish, because this is our island. It does not belong to the illegal immigrants, the asylum seekers. If you don't like our way, you do not like our flags, go home. You're not welcome. And those who want to come here to live, do it legally. Do it through the correct channels. Come here, pay your taxes, pay your way, earn the right to be here. And more importantly, be diverse to adapt our way of life. Because we should not adapt to yours. Because this is our country. It's not yours. You have to earn the right to be here. So yes, I agree with Donald Trump. Shut our gates, our borders, turn the boats back. This is our country. This is our Britain. And if you fully agree with what I've just said, then hit that like button and help this channel grow by clicking the subscribe. I get very few views on my videos. Maybe this is because people are seeing my channel as a bit too far right. Or could it be simply YouTube do not want to promote it, just in case people listen and agree? So that is all I've got to say on this matter. So until my next video, I would like to say, stay safe, hold your head up high with pride for being British, and I thank all of you for watching this video. So it's goodbye from me for now, and thank you once again for watching. I'm Random Chat.